Good morning. Thanks for joining another Graphiant Tech Talk. Today we're going to talk about one of my favorite subjects, and we're actually going to revisit an old blog post from the year Graphiant launched about ROI, and specifically about how to increase your ROI and some of the challenges and pitfalls with technology when it comes to looking at ROI. Before we dive into the financial benefits, let's quickly review what some of the existing solutions do and some of the challenges with delivering services at a cost-effective rate and what you could expect from us. So let's look at challenges in traditional networking and kind of how they affect your ability to deliver lower total cost of ownership or return on investment. The first challenge that we see is a lot of high upfront capital expenditures. You know, investing in custom hardware and then the software licensing that goes along with that demands a significant capital outlay. And what we see is generally putting solutions in place for multiple years means you have to plan for scale up front, and you have to invest in that upfront. The second is really licensing inefficiencies, and paying for capacity or paying for bandwidth that isn't actually used. So licensing based on throughput and licensing based on specific tranches of throughput challenge enterprises around, I don't really fit into that tranche, or all of my traffic isn't leveraging this infrastructure. Maybe some of it's going direct to the internet. Am I paying for the license for that bandwidth? Am I paying a license charge for that bandwidth that I'm actually using? We also see challenges around service level agreements and ensuring that applications have the type of performance that they require. And this has really been one of the big challenges around the ROI that was claimed or ROI that you saw positioned with SD-WAN. I positioned it myself back in 2014. I'll be perfectly honest with that. But what we've seen is a lot of institutions are not comfortable moving away from connectivity methods that give them a service level agreement and ensure delivery for their applications. Some of the other challenges that we see is complexity around management. As you add technologies and you build overlays, it makes your management cost more expensive, and it really kind of reduces that ROI, increases your total cost of ownership around delivering services. And then scaling issues. As networks grow, costs increase, and you really kind of see ROIs wiped out from there. So how does Graphiant approach these challenges? The first is by reducing the CapEx, moving away from custom built hardware and delivering as a service, and as a service that will run on top of either commercial off-the-shelf hardware, or in certain scenarios, just based on software or based on a service, really reduces that upfront capital expenditure, almost takes it away completely in a lot of scenarios. One of which we'll talk about as we get into some of the use cases. We also see a lowering of OpEx. So using a flexible credit consumption model like we use, and truly a pay-as-you-go model, you truly only pay for the capacity that you use, and we have SLAs around that capacity, so can truly move away from more expensive solutions. And then you're not paying for your traffic or paying for applications that are not using that. And then we see soft cost reductions around time to deployment, around time to spin up services, and simplicity of management. Because you're not managing multiple technologies across multiple connectivity methods, the management is much simpler. And because we are a true network as a service model, you don't have to pre-build your infrastructure. You don't have to to plan, deploy, and manage. You truly just connect and consume. So there's a lot of soft cost reduction around that flexibility and agility that comes there. But beyond cost savings, it's the agility and the ability to bring services up really give you the ability to increase the bottom line and offer new services, whether that's partner services, whether that's cloud services, whether that's additional methods of connectivity that will drive your business. It really kind of gives you the flexibility to empower your business or your lines of business to deliver new services and deliver what they need. We also see, a significant jump in performance and user experience because the Graphiant service is globally deployed, because we're pushing that connectivity and we're pushing those services closer to your edges and your users. That user experience, that performance really jumps. So if we look at a couple of real world examples, the first to start with is a cloud gateway use case with a global manufacturing company that was moving to a multi-cloud deployment with applications and virtual desktops being deployed in the cloud. If you've ever worked with virtual desktops and the way virtual desktop licensing works when deployed in the cloud, I think you probably understand that this makes you multi-cloud by default. So this customer is moving in that direction. They explored leveraging their existing infrastructure and deploying virtual instances of network infrastructure directly into their clouds. And then they also explored doing direct connectivity to the cloud providers in their data centers and also in co-location facilities. What they ended up doing was adopting the Graphiant Cloud Gateway service for its multi-cloud connectivity and the ability to establish high performance connectivity between all of their global locations, their data centers, and their users on demand and as a service. So what did this result in? It resulted in an estimated 50% reduction in total cost of ownership over the other solutions that they had explored. The way that they achieved this, or the way that they did this math, was twofold. Looking at deploying their existing solution into the cloud, they had increased costs around the cloud resources to run those virtual network instances. And if they had gone with that approach, they would be using public connectivity for those virtual network instances. If you know anything about data egress charges in the cloud, it's 8 to 10 times more expensive to use public egress than private egress. So they saw a huge cost delta there, as well as the cost increase around running cloud workload instances to use those virtual network services on top of. The other approach that they looked at doing with direct connectivity into their data centers and locations, there were challenges around time to get those solutions deployed. There was also challenges around the need to bring infrastructure in and either set up co-location facilities or set up the connectivity from their data centers. By leveraging the Graphiant Cloud Gateway, they leverage a service that's pre-deployed, that's privately connected to the service providers, and is globally distributed. So it's closer to their users and their facilities. So that performance increase is better. So that's the first use case. The second use case is our wide area network as a service. This customer, globally distributed again, about 100 sites, give or take, looking at moving away from an existing MPLS solution, connecting all of their global locations together. They were challenged around cost. They were challenged around, the amount of bandwidth or the connectivity, and they were challenged around management. So they looked at several solutions, ended up moving forward with Graphiant. And some of the key reasons that they moved forward with Graphiant was that cost save. They saw greater than 60% reduction in total cost of ownership. And that was based on a move away from expensive circuits and the licensing challenges that we talked about earlier. They are now only paying for the bandwidth utilized or the capacity utilized across the Graphiant core. Anything that goes directly out either to their partners or to a security service provider, they don't pay for. So tremendous cost savings there. They also saw enhanced security. They're very, very segmented. They like to have all of their networks almost micro-segmented all the way down to the edge. So the ability to extend that segmentation into their wide area network has been key to them. And then the fact that everything is encrypted from their premises, never decrypted until it reaches its destination in their premises or data center or service, has been a great benefit for them. They've also seen an increase in performance and user experience with this additional bandwidth, and again, having those services or those connectivity points closer to their users and their locations. So we promised 3 tips. I promised 3 tips in kind of how to increase your ROI or lower your total cost of ownership. When I look at those, the first would be to partner with your business, partner with your providers, and really get an understanding of what you need to deliver and right size the infrastructure around that. Determine which applications need SLAs, determine which applications need to scale and need to see performance that's guaranteed, and plan for that, and then right size based on that. And the second is be adaptable. What you do today is probably not what you're going to do tomorrow. It's not going to meet the needs of your business. It's not going to meet your cost objectives. So, change is really constant and necessary. So being open to new approaches, new technologies, new services is key to delivering and understanding what is needed for the business, and will really help you lower your TCO. And then the last one I would say is think long term. And that maybe seem a little bit contradictory to the first one around partnering and understanding what you need today, but they kind of go hand in hand. So thinking long term, thinking about how your business is going to grow, how your business is going to change, is key to understanding what you need to deliver and what you will need to deliver from a technology perspective. So that's my kind of 3 quick tips. As always, thanks for joining. Look forward to any feedback. And just in short, I would say, if you're looking to invest in a future-proof networking solution that will reduce cost, fuel growth, and give you the agility you need, reach out. Thanks for joining. Have a great day.